Hey y'all, it's me. Just thought I'd share some thoughts about a game that recently came out, The Walking Dead Survivor Instinct. And a lot of this is going to be negative, yes, but also there's going to be some positive stuff too. Let's start off with the fact that this is pretty much an unpolished game being sold at retail price, trying to ride the shirt tails of the great Telltale game series. So, what's Activision do? They probably cram about 12 guys into a room and say, hey, make a Walking Dead first-person shooter / survival game, and you have 6 months to do it. So, of course, the outcome is not going to be quality. There's no question that there were shortcuts taken and bad choices made as far as A, game length, and B, game content. The one thing that kind of saves it all, though, is this whole traveling sequence where you will be traveling down a highway or a back road or a street, and you'll encounter something, whether that be a roadblock or a survivor requesting assistance or a neighborhood off the side of the road where you can possibly scavenge supplies or save someone or just simply move cars, and you get a little bit of scavenging in the process too. Unfortunately, this is where a lot of the good game ideas go out the window, because that's about all it's good for is the traveling sequences. The combat is very stiff and rigid. You have one basic attack and one power attack. There's no linking attacks where your character will do like a double strike. All you get is basically a hit like this and a hit like this. That's about the size of it, and it's pretty disappointing. I thought I could get around it, but so far I've not been able to. The game's length also is in question. I've heard people say 2 to 3 hours, which sounds really, really short, and makes me worry for people who bought this game, including myself. We kind of got ripped off, but you know what? We saw the trailer and we bought into it, so it's our own damn fault as far as I'm concerned. But in this barely functioning first-person game, like I said, the travel sequences save it, and being able to send survivors off to scavenge for food, weapons, or ammunition while you're taking part in your own scenario, or while you're taking part in your own scavenging. What would have been great was to be able maybe to work together with these survivors, or at least see them on screen while they're carrying out these missions that you're assigning them. But unfortunately, you don't, and they'll either come back with some food, or they'll come back with some, whatever you send them out for. But they'll usually come back wounded, depending on what you equip them with and what their skills are. There's a few skills that I remember right offhand. I remember Reckless, and can't remember what the others are right offhand, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I'm blanking. But this adds a little bit more depth to your characters, and there's survivors that will prefer blunt weapons. There's survivors that will prefer pistols, rifles, shotguns, edged weapons. So again, that adds a little bit of depth to a pretty basic first-person shooter / survivor game, which is criminal that this thing is being sold for $50. And I know everyone has probably heard this complaint, but I'm also trying to say, hey, there's some good ideas in here too. Now, chances are we're probably not going to see probably not going to see a sequel to this. But maybe we'll see some DLC where they expand on this and give us some more areas. A big problem with the roadside scavenging, or the travel section scavenging, is a lot of the maps are repeated. I was watching a gameplay video before I decided to get my copy, and counted several times where the same map was played over and over again in a 5-minute sequence, to where I was kind of like, that's it? That's all they had? It seems like they only had like maybe 4 or 5 maps that where scavenging can take place off the road, which is pretty disappointing in all honesty. I mean, okay, you're traveling down the highway. What's off highways? Restaurants, truck stops, anything really, even like a riverbed, you know. You see something underneath the bridge. Get out of your truck and go check underneath the bridge, or check in a lower area. What's the word I'm looking for? A rest stop, for that matter. I don't know how many there are in Georgia, but I imagine there's some that they could do a small map / model of the area around it. And same thing in the neighborhoods. With the back roads, you come across a small town. You come across maybe a river, or a small pond, or a small secluded home, stuff like that. And then of course off the highway or off the streets, you'd have stuff like medium to large neighborhoods, maybe a shopping center, or possibly another truck stop. These are all ideas that they could have used, and this is coming, as you can tell, right off the top of my head. No real preparation for these ideas at all. It's just stuff that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, though I have had some zombie game ideas, but I've never had any that had travel sections like this one does. What would really be great is if you could control the speed with which you're traveling, so, you know, breakdowns would occur less often, and you might get a better chance for being able to scavenge, but that would make the game too easy. So, but unfortunately, this game has some good ideas, but poor execution. Probably maybe 6 or 12 guys on the development team at the most, I imagine. And I'm not complaining necessarily. I mean, they did a good job with what they had, but it could have been better. And this is just my thoughts on the topic. Chime in if you'd like. Do you like The Walking Dead? Do you hate The Walking Dead? Do you like zombies? Do you hate zombies? Do you think zombies have gotten too popular? I don't think they've gotten too popular, but that's just me. Reply, post, comment, talk amongst yourselves, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Later.